Hello my friends, welcome back. You are looking lovely today. I love what you've done with your hair. And today we're going to be talking about Geometry Dash 2.2. Though, what can I say about it that nobody has said already? Well, but not very much. Though I can reiterate things that other people have said, so that it can be educational, informative, what have you. So, today we're going to be talking about 11 of Geometry Dash 2.2's frequently asked questions. Before we get started, make sure to like the video and subscribe if you want to see more from me. I'm working on a pretty big video behind the scenes, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, the first question of the 11 is, of course, the obvious. When is Geometry Dash 2.2 coming out? And the answer to this is nobody knows. There is no official release date. Robstop doesn't know himself when it's going to come out, so it's just a lot of educational guessing. If you want a time range, I personally think it'll be coming out in the summer, and if you want to see my detailed thoughts of why I think this, check out my dedicated video on the subject. But again, nobody really knows for sure. There's still a lot to be done, and we still have a little bit of waiting to go. Another question I see a lot is people asking why exactly has 2.2 taken so long? And that really just comes down to a couple things. One of the big ones is Robstop trying to fulfill community expectations. As I've mentioned a few times in previous videos, it's kind of a rigorous cycle. Robstop adds stuff to the game, but in that time it took him to add it, community expectations for the update have risen, and so to try and meet those expectations, Robstop adds more stuff to the update, and so on. And this just takes a really long time because he ends up adding so much stuff, and eventually he just has to cut himself off and just release the update. However, when he's adding so much stuff to an update, bugs are sure to pop up. He said recently that a big issue with 2.2 is that getting everything to work together is really difficult. Everything could be working fine, but then he adds one thing and it breaks half the game, and he has to spend a really long time fixing it. Next question is, why can't Robstop just release what he has now and finish 2.2 later? Robstop actually addressed this question directly. He basically said that the problem is, everything is added to the update just in unfinished parts. So if you released it now, there would be way too many bugs, and it would probably just be game-breaking. So many features would just be broken and not working, and it would just not be a very good time. Then we have another related question. Does Rob realize that 2.2 has taken so long? And the answer is, yeah, he has. He said before that he never intended for the update to get this big, and that he's going to make absolute sure that it never happens again. Next up, another question I see a lot. Why can't Robstop just get a team to help him finish 2.2? The reason that he doesn't is because hiring somebody isn't that straightforward of a process. You have to figure out the right person for the job. Somebody who's interested in video game development and has the right skills, and would work well with Robstop. Then Robstop has to train them, he has to get them familiar with the code and how the game works. And that would just take a very long time. It would honestly just be faster for Robstop to finish 2.2 on his own than to look into hiring somebody to help him. However, he has said that for 2.3 and future updates, he might consider hiring somebody or maybe even a group of people, so that he doesn't have to do absolutely everything on his own. This next question I'm personally fairly invested in, and that is the question of when is the sneak peek coming out? So if you don't know, before Robstop releases an update, he releases a sneak peek, which is just like the beginning of the new level, so that we can get a taste of what we're seeing. There is one pretty big reason why the sneak peek has taken this long, and that's that there is some sort of system bug that is in the sneak peek that really just halted the progress. I think back in August or so, Robstop said that he finally was able to fix the bug, so he can get back to working on it as usual. However, around that time he also shifted focus and stopped really working on the sneak peek so that he could look at other stuff. For the past few months, he's been heavily focused on finishing up all the icon work, since that's a really big part of the update. Robstop said recently that he has about 60 icons left to go, not just drawing new icons but also just fixing the icons that won the 2.2 icon contest. And once he finishes that, he can put his full focus into finishing up the sneak peek. If I had to guess, I think it's going to take around 2 months or so for the sneak peek to actually be released, but that could be off by an entire month or more. Another thing I see a lot is people simply just calling Robstop lazy, and that him being lazy is the reason 2.2 has taken so long. If you want to see my full thoughts on this, then check out my dedicated video on the subject again, but in general, none of us are Robstop psychologists and we can't know for sure. But based on evidence, my conclusion is that no, Robstop is actually incredibly hardworking. But again, I go over my full thoughts in a separate video. Now for some more specific stuff about 2.2. First of all, how many new icons will be in the update? I'm pretty sure at the moment there are about 350 icons in the game. Robstop has confirmed that 2.2 will more than double that count. In other words, 2.2 will introduce more icons than are currently in the game. So that means 2.2 is going to have at least 350 icons. That is an absolute ton of icons, and I can't wait personally. Icons, I love icons so much. Now, will there be any new difficulties in 2.2? I don't think so, or if there are, Robstop hasn't shown us. He has considered adding another demon difficulty because of how difficult extreme demons are getting, and the difference between Cataclysm and Tartarus is absolutely massive. So if there are any new difficulties coming, demons or otherwise, we don't know. I personally think it's more likely for 2.3 or a different update, so I guess again we'll just have to see. What is going to happen immediately after 2.2 comes out? I've been playing Geometry Dash on and off since July of 2014, during the 1.7 update, so I think I have some pretty good insight of this. Generally, when a new update comes out, for a certain amount of time, all of the new levels are honestly pretty bad. The feature tab looks a lot like a glorified recent tab, because people just don't really know how to use the new gameplay and decoration well. You could especially see this in the 2.0 update, when people were abusing the moving blocks so much and everything was just really hectic. But every single time, people over time learn how to use the features well to make them enhance the gameplay rather than be a core part of it. And of course, I think this will be the case for 2.2. When the update first comes out, all of the levels that come out will just be really, really bad. But over time, people will learn to use all the stuff correctly, and it'll make for some really, really amazing stuff. Now, we have one more question, and that's less about 2.2. After 2.2 comes out, how long is 2.3 and future updates going to take? Robstop has said that he's not going to let something like 2.2 happen again, where it just takes this long. He has said that 2.3 will probably take around 6 months at the absolute maximum, and this will likely be the case for future updates as well. Directly after 2.2, Robstop has to get started on 2.21, because 2.2 will introduce so many bugs alongside the massive amount of features. And after he releases a couple bug fix updates, he's going to work on 2.3 for upwards of 6 months. Hopefully around that time he'll also be looking into hiring somebody as well. So that's about it for this video. If I answered some of your questions, then make sure to leave a like on this video. Or if you just enjoyed the video in general, also leave a comment if you have any other questions about 2.2. Maybe I'll compile them into another video. Thank you so much for watching, I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you all in my next video.